Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Charlamagne the guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
What was that?
I don't know what that was.
Damn.
And let's get in some front page news.
Oh, bro. You got acid reflux at 6 o'clock in the morning for no reason?
I'm drinking a sparkling water. That's why.
Damn.
All right. Good morning, Tez.
Good morning, DJ Envy and Charlamagne the God.
Teslin Figueroa, what's happening?
Now let's talk about this plane crash where 4 children were found alive after 40 days.
Yes, unbelievable story. After 40 days in the Colombian rainforest, 4 children ages 13, 9, 4, and 1 who have been missing since the plane they were traveling in crashed on May 1st have been found alive. When rescuers reached the site of the plane's wreckage last month, the bodies of the 3 adults on board were found, but there was no sign of the 4 children known to have been on the plane. Now, as of now, it is unclear how they managed to survive for so long in a thick jungle that is prone to heavy rain and contains jaguars and, yes, absolutely, being the snakes. However, they did say that these are indigenous children, so their knowledge about the jungle helped them survive.
That's God all
That's
day.
crazy.
Drop on the clues bombs for God. God be God, don't he?
Do we know the
40
ages of those
days,
kids?
40 days and 40 nights.
Do we know the
What'd you
ages
say?
of those kids?
Yeah, the ages were 13, 9, 4, and 1.
4 and 1?
That's my family.
Jesus
I got
Christ.
close to my family. I got 14, 7, 4, and 1.
Could you imagine a 1-year-old in the jungle, 40 days, eating everything that they have to eat, and that 1-year-old doesn't talk, and then you got to wipe the. Wow, that's God.
That would be an amazing movie or an amazing TV show. Too bad there's nobody to write it because all the writers.
Yeah, that's true.
all the writers are still on strike.
You know, I pay attention to numbers a lot, and I just thought the 40 days, again, talking about 40 days and 40 nights, and, it's just, it's a lot significance to that. So it's really going to be interesting to see, how this story continues to, I guess, unfold and we hear more about it. I did want to tell you a little bit about the plane crash, though, before we go to the next story. The pilot reported engine failure and declared an emergency before the plane disappeared from the radar about 7:30 a.m. on May 1st. After the plane crashed and rescuers were on the scene, they used a recording of the children's grandmother telling the children to stay in place and that people were looking for them. So I thought that was really interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, you should give them some more insight on the 40 days, 40 nights, Taz. What do you say? Jesus' resurrection was, 40 days, was it?
No,
there were 40 days between Jesus' resurrection and ascension?
Yeah, 40 is a deep number in general. Like, it's a lot of stuff you can talk about with 40 days and 40 nights, but 40 is a very significant number, in the Bible. If you want to look it up, go look up numerology and look up the number 40.
Mm-hmm. And one last question. Was that a big plane, like a 747, or was that like a small engine plane?
No, it was a little small little engine plane. Yeah, they were going from, these were indigenous people, so they were going from, I guess, I don't want to say tribe because I don't want to misquote it, but just going from one area to the other. They were from the Amazon. So apparently these children knew how to find seeds and, different types of food. And the 13-year-old, I believe they said, cut up some of the clothing to wrap the 1-year-old. I mean, just got really creative.
I'm gonna have to tell ChatGPT to write that movie, man.
Wow.
Yeah. And then one other thing I thought was so interesting, they left, the kids were or the 13-year-old left little trinkets where they would, go throughout to be found. So they would leave like scissors or a baby bottle or of kind of leaving a track in order to find.
Like Hansel and Gretel?
Yes.
Damn.
This is a deep story.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the Southern Baptist vote to ban women pastors.
Yeah, Southern Baptists will have the opportunity to vote on a measure that would enshrine a ban on women pastors within the denomination. The amendment would require that no women at the church hold the title as pastor. A less binding agreement was already in existence for a very long time, but the office of pastor is limited to men as qualified by scripture, but this vote would make it official. So that's always been something that the Southern Baptist church has believed in, that women cannot hold pastoral roles or minister roles, but people have done it throughout the years. But now they're deciding to, decide, if they should make it official or not.
What kind of terrible sermon did a woman give that made them say, you know what, no more women can give, sermons here anymore? Lord have mercy. They need to turn Pastor Sarah J. Roberts on. I bet you they won't want to ban women pastors after they hear her. Or I tell you that.
Yeah, that's a lot of reason why the church went to non-denominational, like Pastor Sarah Jakes. a lot of the churches that you still feel that Baptist feel, in the church, but decided to go non-denominational so that women can have roles, within the church and be called to be ministers.
So that's just good old-fashioned misogyny, or is that just the way the church is built?
Well, it's good old-fashioned misogyny coming from 1 Timothy 2:12 that says, I do not permit a woman to teach or to exercise authority over a man. Rather, she is to remain quiet. For Adam was formed first, then Eve, and Adam was not deceived, but the woman was deceived and became a transgressor.
Does that count for mamas and sons, too? What the hell?
Jesus.
What kind of logic is that?
Well, it is. That's why the Bible, the studies of the Bible, people can take comparative religion to see, the context behind it. That's been a debate for a very long time in the Baptist church. I remember that growing up as a little girl, where women, really wanted to be in the ministry and they just could not. So,
All right. Well, that is front page news. Thank you, Tez. We'll see you in a couple of minutes.
Absolutely.
All right, get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, hit us up right now. Phone lines are wide open. It's The Breakfast Club on BET. Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Teslan Figaro's back with us. Good morning, Tez.
Absolutely. Good morning, DJ Envy, Charlamagne.
Peace, Tez.
Now let's talk about these drunk drivers having to pay child support. I think I like this.
Yeah, I think you'll like this one. People convicted of intoxication manslaughter in Texas will now have to pay money to support the victim's children. Signed into law by Governor Greg Abbott on June 2nd, the person convicted will essentially pay child support in the form of monthly payments to fulfill the financial needs and resources of all of the surviving children until they turn 18 and graduate from high school. A version of the law was first introduced in Missouri after a woman lost her 30-year-old son to a drunk driving incident and was left to care for his 2 children. Payments will begin a year after the person is convicted in their release from prison, and this particular law goes into effect September 1st, 2023.
I like this.
Yeah, I love it.
I mean, the fact that a drunk driver takes away a parent, a mother, a father, and now that child has to fend for himself. Yeah, they should have to pay child support, make sure that child is good, that family's good until they're 18. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, I love it. If prison not scaring people, then hitting them in the pockets. Well, only thing I would say about this is, what about the people who don't have anything to lose, the people who don't have any money? You know what I mean? The people who don't care. They're drinking because, they already hit rock bottom.
Right.
What about them?
Yeah, I mean, they still gotta pay somehow. I mean, they still should have to go to jail, but whatever they make, they should go to that family.
Yeah. Well, Texas has some of the harshest drunk driving laws in the country. So if that's not deterring them, this is just one more additional thing, to your point, Charlamagne, somebody's having a problem, they're just having a problem. But Texas, just want to point that out. They do have some of the most harshest penalties in the country. So they wanted to add this on to it as well.
Yeah, we got to do something to slow down drunk drivers. I'm hearing more and more and more cases of people crashing, people getting DUIs. So it's getting
which makes no sense in 2023 when we are in the ride share era.
Correct.
Like, how many highways or dieways, the choice is yours commercials do we have to see?
I'm with you. Now let's talk about AI. They're saying AI can help improve breast cancer risk predictions.
Yeah, a new study is showing yet another way that artificial intelligence is entering the medical field and potentially improving existing practices for predicting breast cancer risk. The study found that AI algorithms outperform the standard clinical risk model for predicting the 5-year risk of breast cancer by providing the ability to extract hundreds of thousands of additional mammographic features. While some institutions are already using AI to help detect cancer on mammograms, these findings suggest AI can be a vital tool in helping a patient's future risk score, which takes seconds for AI to generate. They said that this tool will be able to help personalize precision medicine on a national level, which is currently not available. So I wanted to pull this story because I know how you guys feel about AI. I know we talked before about, what can it do in the medical field, and wanted to see, what are your thoughts on this?
I have no problem with AI if it can improve medical situations. I mean, I've had conversations with people before, and they say that's the only benefit they actually see to AI, the things that it'll probably be able to do in regards to science and medicine.
Yeah, I'm with it. I don't have a problem with AI when it saves lives, when it helps the world. Something like this, if it can improve breast cancer risk predictions, things like that, I don't have a problem with AI. It's just when they use other people's voices, other people's thoughts, when it takes jobs away from people that we can't do, that's when I have the problem, an issue.
Mm-hmm. And again, there's pros and cons to it. I've looked at a lot of stories where, AI is not getting it right in the medical field. I think we talked about it once before, we're trying to replace, doctors or giving advice
right.
or, those types of things, mental health, talking to an AI computer and, how is that, making sure they give the right advice. So it's a slippery slope. Again, pros and cons, and just continue to see how this AI continues to develop and doing your research.
Yeah, I guess time will have to tell, because it's fairly new. People say things like, AI will help, to make the healthcare system more efficient and less expensive, but we'll see.
All right. Well, that is Front Page News. Thank you, Tez.
Oh, can I give a quick shout out?
Of course.
Yesterday, I went and talked to our comment caucus, is what I like to call them, on YouTube. And so it was great. We had over maybe almost 1,500 people that joined me on the Breakfast Club YouTube channel. And we talked about the news and, went back and forth. We had a really good time.
Okay.
Word.
Salute to you.
And make sure you subscribe to Tezlyn Figaro's podcast, The Straight Shot No Chaser podcast, on the Black Effect iHeartRadio Podcast Network.
All right. Now, when we come back, Terrence Crawford will be joining us, of course, boxer. He's fighting Errol Spence Jr. July 29th on Showtime, and we're going to kick it with him next. So don't move. It's The Breakfast Club on BET.
Wake that ass up
early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.